Monsters talking, top rope walking, ultimate Xing, serious flexing, never be vague with your boy Craig, and opinion mixing from Pete to Nixon. Keep doing things in an impactful way. Bloody nonsense, as the Brits say. Talking bloody nonsense.
Yes, it's me. It's the MIC Craig, aka Mr. Impact, joined as ever by the one and only Peter Nixon. This is Talking Bloody Nonsense here on the TNA IW channel. It's a new week, it's a new Impact, and a lot happened this weekend. First things first, Nixon, how's it going?
Yeah, all good here. I don't think we really have much time for small talk. We've got a lot to discuss. So shall we just jump straight in?
Yeah, let's just go straight for it. This is our No Surrender review show, and that's pretty much what we're going to be focused on here. But yeah, let's just get straight into this one. I mean, we'll go match by match. We'll put the pre-show together, but I'm pretty much going match by match. We can try and fill some time before the final 10. Okay. Pre-show, first two matches, we had the returning Trey Miguel defeating John Skyler in a non-title match. We had Havoc returning as well to defeat the returning to Neil Dashwood. I mean, Skyler had a good show in, which is cool. Havoc back, to Neil back, and obviously now we've got the whole web of the influence and inspiration again. But the rest of the match we had. The show opened in a fatal four-way for the X Division #1 contendership between with Jake Something defeating Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and Speedball Mike Bailey. Jonah defeated Black Taurus. Jay White defeated Eric Young. Diana Perrazzo defeated Miranda Alizé in the Champ Challenge for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. Matt Cardona defeated Jordan Grace by disqualification to retain the Impact Digital Media World Championship.
Mm-hmm.
The Good Brothers defeated the Gorillas of Destiny, Tamatonga Tangaloa, to retain the Impact World Tag Team Championships with the help of Jay White and Chris Bay, which, I mean, Mickie James defeated Tasha Steelz to retain the Impact Knockouts World Championship. Moose defeated W. Morrissey to retain the Impact World Championship. And the main event, Honor No More, of Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, PCO, Vincent, and Kenny King with Maria Kanellis, defeated Team Impact of Chris Sabin, Rhino, Rich Swann, Steve Macklin, and Willie Mack, with, of course, the help of Eddie Edwards. So, yeah, let's go. We'll go match by match. So, what are your thoughts on just a little bit of the pre-show? Because there was some decent matches on there for a countdown pre-show match. So, what's your thoughts on that? And obviously, a lot of returns in that one.
So, Hard to Kill had I think I said it at the time, it was the best pre-show that I've seen for a wrestling show. Had the two fantastic matches. And you can say the same about No Surrender. Two really good matches to, set the pace for the rest of the show. And that's so important. It's good to see Trey back. I'm guessing they hadn't factored him into plans for the show, and that's why he was, a late addition to the pre-show. People seem to love John Skyler. I don't really see it. Not yet, anyway. I'm sure, given time, he will impress me. But yeah, good showing for Trey. Good to have him back on the roster. Well, he was never cut from the roster. You know what I mean. Yeah, really pleased with that match. And then good to have Tenille back. Always good to see Jessica Havoc. And they put on a nice little match. Perfect way to start the night, in my opinion. Yeah,
I agree. It was some cracking matches. Good to see Trey back on the show. John Skyler impressed me in this one. I gotta admit, he looked good. He had a decent showing against X Division champion. So I was happy with it, because John Skyler can be someone they can look to in the future, and he's a veteran in some respect. But he looked looked decent on this show, so I'm happy about that. Havoc come back, cool. Neil, cool. Nothing special about that one. It was what it was. They planted more of a seed with the influence inspiration thing, so I was fine with it. It was what it was. Decent pre-show, and I was worried the crowd wasn't going to fill up, but it did.
I noticed that. Tom Hannafin said there's people arriving late, because I looked out into the crowd and thought, oh, this is a bit worrying. But then it did fill up, and they were there. They were loud.
Yeah, apparently it was a really long queue. So.
Yeah, I saw pictures of it.
Yeah, which is always a good thing.
Mm.
So let's get straight into the main card and that X Division 4-way. I mean, just what a way to start! It's throwback to the old to TNA, where they would start with a banging X Division match, and for these four, and for Jake something to get a big win. I mean, I've really liked this match, but what's your take on this so far? That match start to open.
Yeah, you're right. It was a throwback to the old TNA days to have a quality X Division match, fast paced, big moves, high spots to start the show. It was awesome. And Jake Something is the best I've seen him look. And to see him go over, and to go over strong, it definitely points to him having re-signed with the company. I haven't had that confirmed. I don't know if you have.
No, but it's got to be obvious after this point. He just defeated 3 of their best. So
exactly. Yeah, good for him. You're really pleased, assuming that's the case, that he's still with the company, because he's someone that hasn't quite been given a shot to showcase what he can do. Yeah, I know he had the match last year against Josh, but still, it's a good opportunity now with the people, more and more people coming in, and the roster as strong as it is, for Jake Something to stand out like he did on that show just shows how good he is and how much promise he has, and hopefully they can do some serious stuff with him.
Yeah, I love that match in general, and obviously we didn't predict it because it wasn't announced until after our show aired. But when I saw it announced, I kind of had a feeling Jake Something was going to win it, because Ace Austin, he doesn't necessarily need to win this one. Chris Bay has the Bullet Club, so again, he doesn't necessarily need an immediate win. Speedball Mike Bailey, a bit too soon right now, because he's only been there a month.
Mm.
And so it kind of had to be Jake Something and winning this one. And I'm glad it was, because I've been a fan of Jake Something for quite some time. But coming in as part of the Dinas, I felt something more could be done with Cousin Jake at the time. But he had that Cousin Jake gimmick. He had a great X Division 4-way at Rebellion about a couple months after he came in. I know that was won by Ace Austin, but
the 6-way with in Canada. I remember it.
I believe it was Rebellion. But so that's a great match. So he has a great look at the minute. Jake Something. He may not be may have a lot of charisma, but the X Division title now has become more of a workhorse title, and Jake Something is a workhorse. So I'm all for Jake getting an opportunity at the X Division title, and first it's not about weight limits; it's about no limits. I was cool with it. I like Jake Something.
Yeah, definitely. I thought Chris Bay was going to win it, because of the Bullet Club stuff later in the show. But yeah, Jake Something was the right choice on this night, and looking forward to seeing what him and Trey do. I know they're doing a tag team match on Impact this week. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes. Ace and Speedball versus Jake and Trey.
Is it not Ace and Fulton? I know they teased it with the angle later on in the show, but I assume it's going to be Ace and Fulton.
That's what I thought. But later on during the show, backstage, as people was leaving, Ace Austin came up to him and said, "Tag match next week." Jake and Trey were saying stuff about you off camera, basically goading him into making it a tag team match with him involved. So no, it's Speedball and Trey versus Jake and Trey. Speedball and Ace versus Jake and Trey.
I mean, that would be a match. That sounds like a knock on Fulton, but that would be a better tag team match. But you know, Jake Something and Madman Fulton had a great match on the pre-show for Hard to Kill. So yeah, I feel bad for Fulton not being included in that match, but yeah, cool to see Speedball added to it.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. See Speedball lock up with the X Division champion. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Then we had, I mean, I was listening about this card from start to finish. Each match delivered, and this hoss fight between Jonah and Black Taurus, with Jonah picking up the win. I really enjoyed this match. You know, it's big meaty men slapping me with mixed in of just pure athleticism from two big guys. I like this hybrid style of big guys in Impact, because yes, they'll knock you on your ass, but it can also really move. And I love that hybrid, especially with Jonah. And Jeff's kind of made a reference to it on the Mothership review of No Surrender. He doesn't feel like Jonah is necessarily an Impact guy. Doesn't feel like he's very, but it's cool. It's cool that he's on Impact, and he kind of had to defeat Black Taurus in this one, which is disappointing for Black Taurus because he hasn't really picked up many wins. Decay hasn't really picked up many wins.
No.
So it was kind of unfortunate, but I guess it would hurt Decay are over no matter what on the roster, on Impact in general. So I guess Jonah needed to pick up a big win on a big show, if you like. So yeah, and the contest only lasted 8 minutes.
I don't think it needed to be any longer.
No,
balls to the wall. Let's go at it. Slapping meat, as you said. It's cool to see Black Taurus showcase exactly what he can do with the dives and that. But yeah, you're right. Jonah had to win this one. And I get what Jeff was saying about Jonah not being an Impact guy. Yeah, I agree. He's certainly not here for the long haul. I imagine he'll be an in and out, a bit like Jay White. He's not an Impact guy. He's a New Japan guy. And I think that's what Jonah will become. I think they did an angle on the recent New Japan show where Jonah is now with TNDK, Shane Haston, Mikey Nichols.
Yeah,
that's a cool little faction. And you never know, there might be a crossover there. Might have TNDK come in at some point.
All for that.
Yeah.
Especially with this tag team division the way it is at the minute. But before we get into that, I mean, yeah, next the match we predicted would be most difficult to predict. It was Jay White defeating Eric Young. Before that, Eric Young had a killer promo where he said he was the most underrated all-round wrestler because he has done everything you can think of as a character, and as each character he's portrayed, he's been a champion as with that character.
Yeah.
Even Super Eric was technically a tag team champion. So it's but match in general was insane. Get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, it was a really solid wrestling match. As one of the only matches that our predictions were different. I predicted it to be a no contest, thinking they'd try and keep them both strong at some point, but there was kind of a no contest later on in the show. So I guess they didn't want to do that. They wanted someone to go over. And I don't think Eric Young was hurt by the loss, but at the same time, I mean, Jay White might have hurt him to lose, but he didn't really gain anything in victory. Yeah, the match was good. It was fine. It served its purpose. I don't think it was the best match on the show. But yeah, strong performance from both men as expected. You're right, Eric Young can do everything. Even in WWE, in NXT, he was leading his faction Sanity, and they were over as soon as they went to the main roster. But you could say that about a lot of acts from NXT to WWE main roster.
Right, but even that, Eric was a NXT Tag Team Champion.
Yeah,
the guy has range and can do anything he wants to do. Even as the World Elite, which wasn't necessarily successful, but he was still Legends or TV champion or Global champion, whatever it was at the time. So he can do everything, and he is. People say, "Oh, Chris Jericho is great at reinventing himself. Matt Hardy's great at reinventing himself," and they are. But I don't think anyone has had to reinvent themselves more times than Eric Young, and has still been successful with that character. And EY being back in Impact as the leader of Violent by Design, which is kind of like stuff he's done before, but not like it's a little bit of Sanity mixed with World Class Maniac, but it's still something we haven't seen from Eric Young before necessarily. So I was sort of for it, but the match, Jay White, I mean, it's such a great mix of styles in that it wasn't just two wrestlers wrestling, because Jay White has he's been all over the place, and obviously he's learned that strong style as well from being in the dojos. Eric Young he's had so many years to hone his craft of what he does and make it different, because he does like to reinvent himself, and there's different. It's a great wrestling match with kind of a few different styles mixed in, so I was all for it. And now moving on, we had the champ challenge. Deonna Purrazzo issuing an open challenge for either one of her titles, either the Ring of Honor Women's World title or the AAA Reina de Reinas, and it is Reina de Reinas.
Yeah, I got it right on my second attempt.
Yeah,
Reina de Reinas.
Yeah. Ray Walt keeps calling it Reinas de Reinas, and it's the Queen of Queens.
Yeah, she's not the Queens of Queens.
Yeah, the Queen of Queens. So, but yeah, open challenge for the Ring of Honor or AAA Women's title. It was accepted by Miranda Alizé, and I noticed a few people it didn't get a big reaction, because I think a lot of people thought it'd either be Taya or Athena, the former Ember Moon. And you can't be. It was a great match, but also you can't be. I saw a few people a bit frustrated with the Impact that it was Miranda Alizé, but if you thought it was Athena or Taya, that's kind of on you. They didn't suggest anything. It was an open challenge. It's Impact probably maybe tried to get Athena, but she showed up at she actually faced square up against Taya at a independent show during No Surrender.
All right.
So it couldn't have been either.
I think it was Sean Ross Sapp reporting that it could be Athena. I think that's why a lot of people were disappointed with Miranda Alizé.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point she's coming in, and Sean Ross Sapp got his wires crossed, or he could have just been given false information. But yeah, I can see why people would be disappointed by that. But at the same time, it was only the second champ challenge, so you're not going to have a big name come straight in. It's going to build, and I think it's going to build to Taya coming in and winning the Reina de Reinas champion because of her history with AAA. That would make sense to me anyway.
Yeah, and that match between Deonna and Taya has been announced. Like it's happening, but it haven't announced it on Impact. It's supposed to be happening over in AAA. But they have gone back and forth on Twitter a little bit. So maybe it could happen. I know I've noticed that Deonna's had to Deonna's carried the title on Impact TV, but in 2 challenges, both challenges have gone for the Ring of Honor Women's World title, not the Reina de Reinas, which means if it is Taya, maybe that could be the first time they do the Reina de Reinas title. So I'm cool with it. But Deonna won by submission. Ronda Rousey had a good showing. It's the second time appearing on Impact. I was cool with it. I was kind of she was on my list of who it was going to be. It wasn't at the top, but it makes sense in the fact that Miranda Alizé lost to Roxy in the tournament, which then in the final of the tournament leading to Roxy winning the Ring of Honor Women's title. So it kind of made a bit of sense there with Miranda Alizé accepting the challenge. Solid match, only went 7 minutes, but it again didn't necessarily need to go anymore because I don't think anyone believes Deonna's going to lose the titles just yet.
Not yet, no.
So solid match, good job by both. But then we move on to the Impact Digital Media World Championship, and Matt Cardona defeats Jordan Grace via disqualification, and yeah. A low blow by Jordan, followed by some stiff chair shots. But yeah, what's your thoughts on that match?
Again, it served its purpose. I don't think it was the strongest match on the show, but they're 2 of my favourite people to watch at the moment, Jordan Grace and Matt Cardona. They're both fantastic. And I think it's going to lead to something else. I don't think this is the end of the feud. I love the fact that Cardona has renamed it the Digital Media World Championship, because that's the only sort of blemish on his career, isn't it, that he's never been a world champion. And I think at some point he either cashes it in as an option C kind of thing for the world title, assuming he holds it long enough, because he's certainly not going to cash it in on Moose. He's going to cash it on a babyface because he's that much of a dick.
Yeah, there he is. I loved it. He's such a prick, and I love it.
Yeah, he's one of the most overacts in wrestling right now. Regardless of company, he's just fantastic. I didn't mind the disqualification finish, because it served its purpose, and that's my overused term of the night. And it's leading up to something bigger, I feel, whether that be, Cardona brings in his deathmatch king persona and wrestles Jordan in more of a hardcore style match. But I don't know if Access TV and Anthem would be up for that, a deathmatch intergender style match. But I mean, you never know. They could save it for they could save it for Sacrifice, the next Impact Plus special. But yeah, I enjoyed the match. Nothing outlandish. But yeah, as far as No Surrender goes, it's not a big pay-per-view. It's this is going to sound derogatory. It's just an Impact Plus special. But ever since Emergence last year, when Christian wrestled Brian Myers, the Impact Plus specials have become unmissable. While before then, you could kind of get away with not watching them, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
you can still follow the product on TV and pay-per-view and kind of miss the Impact Plus specials, but now they are unmissable. You have to see them because stuff is going to happen on these shows.
Yeah, and with the Impact Plus logo stamp on it, if you like, it kind of did feel like they were trying to do the one night onlys again, which those were just you could just miss them and not miss out on anything. But I feel like when the North won the tag team titles just before Slammiversary, I think that's the point where it did become, oh shit, okay, now I have to watch these, because I missed that. I didn't watch that special, and I missed the North winning the tag team titles. I went back and watched it, but this was I didn't find out until Slammiversary.
Yeah.
watched the Slammiversary and then North came out with tag team titles. I had no clue. So it have become unmissable for sure. And all these matches would fit on a pay-per-view card. So it was all good. And like I said, Matt Cardona is such a prick, and I love it. I love every second when Matt Cardona comes out. Like he tweeted and said that if you like heels, they're no longer heels. But with Matt Cardona, like, I don't know if I hate him. I just respect what he's doing and how well he's doing it. And that's the kind of thing I'm getting from him. He's a massive prick and coming out and just flipping off the fans. Great stuff. I was waiting for Matt Cardona. I was just slightly disappointed we didn't see the end of World title, but maybe soon.
Yeah, maybe soon. As a wrestler, I can appreciate Cardona's heel work, and as a fan, I love watching him because what's he going to do next? How much of a prick is he going to be? But if I was at a show, I would enjoy booing the shit out of him.
Yeah,
that's how good Matt Cardona is. And I saw Jeff say on the Mothership that are they going to put him back with Brian Myers and do kind of the major players, the podcast faction, maybe even bring Smart Mark Sterling in, put Chelsea with the group. I think that might be the way forward for Matt Cardona. Give him some backup. Even give him the learning tree.
Yeah, that's a fair shout. I'd be for the major bros, major players to have an Impact run. It felt like they were trying to make it happen in the beginning, but now with this, especially now they've reunited in GCW. Yeah. And if this is the Matt Cardona character from GCW we're seeing on Impact, why not make it happen? So I was all for it. The match was fine. Cardona played it well, and it's definitely the turning point, pun intended, that this is the Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona is fully him, is independent, is indie Matt Cardona on Impact now. Like it's completely there. It confirmed it for sure. Yeah, so I was all for it. At
first when Cardona first came in, we had Zack Ryder. Now we've got Matt Cardona.
Yeah, and it's great to watch because he is such a prick. And in DQ, I was cool with it. It gives Matt Cardona more. It makes people despise Matt Cardona a bit more because he got away with it. He snuck out. He got a cheap win.
Yeah,
so it's great job on that side of stuff. And just Jeff mentioned it, but I want to echo the sentiments that one thing I'd never ever want to do is fill those chair shots from Jordan Grace. That's one thing that will never ever be on my list. So yeah, but just great all in all. Now we get to the Impact World Tag Team Title match. I mean, the Good Brothers did retain the Impact World Tag Team Championships due to, first of all, a distraction by Chris Bay, which then led to a Blade Runner from Jay White onto Tama Tonga, which is now left people a lot of people speculating, like, is Jay White elite, or is this Bullet Club? But Jay White and Bay, everyone did tweet out Bullet Club 4.0. I'm guessing that's where they're going with this. But I mean, Tama Tonga and Tangaloa, Judy, are out of Bullet Club now, which is just insane to think about. But it was an okay match. I want to stress that the match was fine. It was nothing special. You can see they didn't really particularly like each other in the match, which again, great storytelling. The storytelling was great. The match itself was okay, but you're not expecting a big, huge match from these two teams. Even though they didn't, they give it their all. They didn't have anything back, which I'm all for. But I think major talking point on that was Jay White and Bay, and now Good Brothers. So get a take on that.
Yeah, definitely. That was the takeaway, wasn't it? The fact that God are now out of Bullet Club. I thought the match was good, and I feel bad for shitting on the Good Brothers last week. It's probably the best match I've seen them have in Impact, honestly.
Yeah.
And I was never a massive fan of God. I've seen them have some decent matches with the Briscoes, people like that. But I didn't think these two would gel in a match, and I thought the match was way better than I expected.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I think it could come down to maybe this was a last minute booking decision because Jay White appeared on AEW last week. It could be just an impulse thing because you've got the rub of Jay White uniting with the Young Bucks, Adam Cole.
Yeah.
And you've got that link there with the Good Brothers. So maybe we see Jay White on Dynamite this week with the Good Brothers. Maybe even with Chris Bay. That would be cool. We'd love to see Chris Bay get a shot on Dynamite whilst still on the Impact roster. I don't want to lose him to AEW. Don't get me wrong.
I was going to say, like, no. Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah, totally. We expected the turn later on with Eddie Edwards, but I didn't expect this. This was a cool little. What's the word I want? I didn't see it coming.
No, I agree. Again, the storytelling was just great on that, and I like having a genuine reaction to stuff because the Eddie stuff I was kind of expecting, even though I still had a pretty pissed off reaction to that, but we'll get to that. But when Jay and Bay first came out on the apron, I thought, oh, okay, it's Bay being a bit overzealous and trying to like help God, but not doing it the right way. Then Jay White popped up, like my exact words were, "What the fuck?" I repeated that 3 times, just trying to figure out what the hell is going on, because this is New Japan's biggest faction, and they're having a major turn of things on an Impact show.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't believe.
Like, they're kicking out 2 of the Bullet Club's most loyal members.
They've been flying. They've been flying the Bullet Club flag for so long, Tama Tonga and Tangaloa. So to see them kicked out of the group on an Impact Plus special, that's massive trust from New Japan to have in Impact to pull this angle off. And that means the footage of this will be shown on New Japan television for the next few months, which is tremendous exposure for Impact.
Yeah, and I can't believe that happened on an Impact show, on a Plus special as well. They could have done this on pay-per-view, but it didn't. It's put on a Plus special, and the entire wrestling world is talking because it now essentially involves 3 different promotions centered around Impact.
Yeah.
And I just can't get my head around. I can't wait to watch Impact and find out why, which is obviously the biggest thing, because a lot of people, even New Japan fans, are going to want to tune in to see this. AEW fans are going to want to tune in to see this because God are no longer in Bullet Club. Those 2 were promoting Bullet Club, like they're flying the flag of Bullet Club, even after the Elite screwed them over and fucked off. Like when Bullet Club was on a downward trajectory, they're still there and showing Bullet Club is still one of the best factions in wrestling. Yeah,
when the Elite left New Japan and started AEW, they, God were the backbone of Bullet Club. They're the reason Bullet Club didn't just melt away. They're the reason Bullet Club is still here. So to see them kicked out of the group is a huge angle. And yeah, I'm just amazed I saw it on an Impact show.
Yeah, I just fucking love wrestling.
I couldn't have put it better.
Now we go on to the Knockouts World Championship match. a match I thought I knew where it was going, and I'm a little bit annoyed that I didn't. Mickie James defeated Tasha Steelz to retain the Knockouts World Championship with the kind of outside help from Chelsea Green, which again didn't really make anything much sense to me. I was frustrated with this result because it should have been Tasha's time. Mickie's done a great job. She didn't. The Knockouts division didn't need Mickie James, but with Mickie James as Knockouts champion, it did help it. Like it added a little bit more to it. So you thought now pass it on to someone who's on their way up, or because at the minute that Knockouts title Donna and Mickie have done a great job of, even in Ty beforehand, did a great job of making that title feel important and making they made that title feel more special to the point where now they can hand it off to the next person and that title can elevate them. They would elevate the title would elevate them, which I thought Tasha could benefit from. So I'm a bit miffed from why they didn't put the title on Tasha. I just really hope this isn't leading to Chelsea Green becoming Knockouts champion. But like I said last week with the Cardona thing, maybe it is where it's heading. And I just what's your take on it?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think unfortunately that is where it's headed. Chelsea to turn on Mickie at some point, and then for her to have a run with the championship. Tasha will get her time. She's got plenty of time. There's other things she can do in the meantime. I thought Mickie would retain, like I said last week, because after the Royal Rumble business, she's got a lot of momentum behind her, and I think Royal Rumble aside, I think Mickie was only meant to have a short reign. I think she was meant to drop it back to Deonna at Hard to Kill until the Royal Rumble stuff happened. But yeah, it's going well. The title reign has been a good reign so far, and I don't see any reason to stop it just yet. It might be Tasha Steelz' time, but she will have her time, and there is time for her to have her time. Time.
Time. Yeah, no, I agree. I just really wanted to see Tasha win it then, because, like I said, Mickie, Deonna, Taya, Jordan, all those did a great job of elevating that title to the point where it is now called the Impact Knockouts World Championship. So I'm all for that. They did a phenomenal job, but this is obviously meant to be a nostalgia run for Mickie. I don't think it's meant to be for this long, like we said. So I just felt like that was the perfect time for Tasha to win, because it just made a lot of sense. Tasha could take the title, and we could have seen fresh feuds for the Knockouts title instead of what we're seeing now. But I think this is also leading, like I said last week, to a Trish and Mickie reversed in Impact. I don't want it to, because I know that's what they pitched in WWE. So it makes kind of sense if they do it on Impact. I don't necessarily want it because, as I said, I'm not the biggest Chelsea Green fan, and after everything that's gone on, I probably never will be a big Chelsea Green fan. If she turns heel, it'll be a lot easier for me to actually get invested, because I don't like the things she's doing now as a face. So turn her heel, maybe make it a bit easier. But right now, I'm just not in it. I just can't get invested in it because, but we'll soon see Impact do a great job of. Impact seem to know where they're going with things, and even though it may seem confusing in the beginning, it tends to become clearer as the further it goes on. So
yeah, definitely.
I'm willing to wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Chelsea Green is an okay wrestler. I think she's better than some, not as good as others. I haven't really enjoyed her character work since Laurel Van Ness. I thought that was a tremendous character, and she did it very, very well. Generic Chelsea Green. I don't get the shh bollocks. What's that meant to mean? Because if what she means by that is, oh, I'm the best kept secret in wrestling, that's bollocks.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Honestly, when she does it, I go shh, I just go away. Like I really don't care. Like I'm just not invested in the stuff she's doing right now. I mean, she came in as Matt Cardona's partner for Slammiversary.
Yeah, against Brian Myers and Tenille.
Yeah. So then she came out as like half Chelsea Green and half Laura Van Ness.
Yeah.
I thought that's okay. I can probably that fine. But now she's just Chelsea Green. Now she's got to get a bit more of a character in her, but still not that invested in it. And if it is into her defeating Mickey, I don't want to see it. I really don't. But I trust Impact's process.
Yeah.
Because they've earned the benefit of the doubt on all this. So yeah, we'll go to the world title match now. The Impact World Championship match. Moose defeat W Morrissey. Okay match. It was. I didn't quite know why this wasn't the main event, but now it's more clear.
Definitely, yeah.
Because they've done a great job of Morrissey in building him up to this point where he's now considered a face in Impact. Cool match. Obviously, Jeff mentioned on the Mothership that there's only so much you can do with two big guys. And what they did a great job in what they did. So, what you thought on that match?
Well, they got a "This is awesome" chant, didn't they?
Yeah.
And the New Orleans crowd were there for it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good, hard-hitting match. I saw people rag on Morrissey because he couldn't quite get Moose up for the powerbomb. And what I will say as a wrestler is when you're not used to being powerbombed, like Moose isn't, because who's going to powerbomb Moose apart from W. Morrissey?
Right.
It's very, very hard to get up for a powerbomb. You need such core strength and perfect coordination with the person doing the move. So I'm not surprised it didn't look as crisp. But, Morrissey put Moose down safely. He didn't get hurt. So, yeah, to those people ragging on Morrissey, fuck off. Because wrestling is difficult, all right? The match was good. And the right result, Moose won, fairly clean, fairly strong. But it didn't hurt Morrissey. Morrissey could go on to do other stuff, I'm sure. And then Moose can move on to new challenges. So yeah, I was happy with the match. I enjoyed it. One of the better matches on the show, as far as I'm concerned.
That's a fair shout. I mean, with the Moose powerbomb stuff, like I'm no expert, but I can't. Even if you are the strongest and tallest people on the roster, lifting Moose is no easy feat, especially when you're lifting from the ground onto your shoulders. That's not going to be easy for anyone. And like I said, like Moose, I don't think Moose has ever been powerbombed during his time as a wrestler. That may be one of the only times Moose has been powerbombed. And for a start, it's a jackknife powerbomb as well. So it was never going to be as clean as people want it to, because it not only does it have to lift him, it has to also push him out and drop him, and make sure it's safe. So I don't get the complaints on that, because it was still a great match, and the fact that W Morrissey didn't technically kick out of the lights out spear, he still came the closest by having his foot under the rope, which made him look really good. And same for Moose, because by being hit with the BQE and having his foot under the rope. even though I'm not 100% sure Morrissey's foot was under. It didn't look like it to me.
They both looked a bit sketchy as far as I'm concerned. Both occasions did. But I think that added to the drama of the match.
Yeah, for sure.
What does BQE stand for?
I think the BQE, because I think the BQE is a road or a bridge in New York. I think.
Oh, that would make sense. He's from New York, right?
Yeah, I think it is. Jeff would probably know better than me because obviously he lives over there. But I think it's a road or a bridge in New York. I think it might be the bridge from New York to New Jersey. I think.
Right.
But I'm not entirely sure. But so we've got well, okay, we might have to probably go over on this one, but we have to because this match, the main event. Wow, we had Honor No More of Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, PCO, Vincent, Kenny King with Maria Kanellis, defeating the team of Chris Sabin, Rhino, Rich Swan, Steve Macklin, and Willie Mack, Team Impact. Honor No More are now with Impact because before this match, Eddie Edwards was attacked backstage, which I found sketchy from the start because it definitely is sketchy, that one. Eddie taken out, Mac takes his place, cool, good to see Willie Mac back. Probably didn't know it. Yeah, everyone did a spot to the outside, everyone was jumping on everyone. Rhino got back in the ring, and she jumped in front of Mike Bennett or Matt Taven. Taven got taken out by Eddie Edwards. It looked like Rhino was about to gore Maria. As he was coming in for the gore, Eddie turned around and with Kenny, hit Rhino square across the back, followed by the rest of the Team Impact, leading to a victory by Honor No More. And at the end, Eddie said, "This is my family," and ripped off the Impact logo, which, with my entire soul, I watched on the TV, my entire soul, I went, "Fuck you." I was so pissed off. Even though I knew it was coming. When he had Maria by their hair, I was saying, do it, prove it, prove everyone wrong, do it. But he didn't.
Yeah, be a babyface, Eddie. Let Rhino gore Maria Kanellis. Yeah. What a babyface.
I mean, I'm sure Maria's taken worse. Didn't her unborn child become 24/7 champion?
Yes, that is technically true.
And then had her husband pin her baby. So I'm pretty sure Maria's had a lot worse than that. But I knew he was going to do it. Just didn't want to believe it, but he did it, and then tore the Impact badge off. Yeah, what are you thinking? It was a good match for a start. It was strong. I'm not usually a fan of 10-man tags, but I enjoyed this one because I didn't necessarily feel like it was a full invasion because the Impact fans were chanting for the Ring of Honor a lot. So it didn't necessarily feel like a big deal of the match because we all kind of want to see these people in Impact because we know they're not really invading type of thing. So we want to see them in Impact and we're happy they're in Impact. But then when Eddie, man, I'm glad it got boos. I was worried it was going to be a bit. I worried too many people were going to cheer it. I know there was a few cheers, but I was worried too many people were going to cheer it and kind of ruin that moment a little bit because you're supposed to boom at this point. We know how it all works, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. It was a great heel turn, which just pissed me off.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Really well done. I thought the match was really good, really fun. Probably the match I enjoyed most on the show. I think most people will say the X Division opener was the best match on the show. For me, this was the one I enjoyed the most. It reminded me of Invasion 2001, the inaugural Raw. WWF versus WCW and ECW. Especially with the turn of Austin. You know, the backbone of WWF turns and sides with the enemy. So it had that vibe to it, and I even tweeted during the front line, for lack of a better name, their promo at the start of the show, where they're all getting their stuff in, looking strong. It reminded me of the Hart Foundation, 1997. Their promo from Calgary Stampede, where everyone had their lines, everyone said something about someone on the opposing team, and the Anvil finished it off. If you've ever seen Wrestling with Shadows, we're gonna get hungry and we're gonna forget our manners. Yeah, that's the vibe I got from that
Great
promo.
stuff.
So yeah, very nostalgic. Not copied, but yeah, those are the vibes I got from the match and the promo. Really enjoyed it. I loved the fact that the crowd were so into PCO. Being a big PCO guy, it was cool to see him get recognized from that New Orleans crowd. I think, if I remember correctly, wasn't it New Orleans where PCO had the match with Walter at Joey Janela's Spring Break? The match
good chance.
The match to put PCO back on the map.
I reckon so.
It was either there or Dallas. But I have a feeling it was. Yeah, it must have been. It must have been New Orleans. So I imagine, PCO has a big fan base in New Orleans, and that's why he was getting cheered so much. Actually, totally justified, because he's fantastic, and I don't care what Max and Jeff say. PCO is the fucking man. Great to see him do stuff with Rhino. The two big men squaring off, slapping meat. I really enjoyed the match. I love everyone on the Honor No More team. I think Kenny King is hugely underrated. I love the OGK tag team, and Vincent. His character work in Ring of Honor was phenomenal, and I look forward to see what else he does in Impact as the Horror King persona.
Yeah.
And then Team Impact is an all-star team, isn't it? Sabin, Rhino, Swan, and Mac, and who am I missing?
Macklin, Sabin, Rhino,
Steve Macklin. I say it every week. I love Steve Macklin. And I hope he kind of transitions now into like an against authority babyface,
like a vigilante based. Yeah.
I'd like to see that, and I think he's earned fans' respect, so people will go for him in that role. But so much coming out of this match and this angle, and I feel like Impact was already can't miss every week, but going forward, how can you possibly miss an episode? What is going to happen next?
Yeah, I mean, it was just insane. Impact and No Surrender, a plus special, trended worldwide. Like, because it had so many incredible moments. I don't want to go. I meant to mention it earlier, but I don't become too negative on this. But I said it. I mentioned. I watched watching the live show on Twitch with Jeff every Saturday night, and I mentioned in the comments that because I feel we kind of need a new ring announcer now. I love David Penza, but there's a few things that were quite hit and miss. The world title introductions didn't feel big enough. So I love Penza, but I think it's time for a new ring announcer. I don't want to say it because I generally love David Penza, and it gives obviously the nostalgia of it all. But I think it's time now.
Yeah, he has that WCW legacy, but yeah, he's had his time. Unfortunately, he's done a great job for so many years, but he's in his twilight, and it's time we got some fresh blood in for ring announcer. I think Melissa Santos would be tremendous. as the permanent ring announcer.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. She did a great job at Knockdown, so I'm all for it. But
She was great in Lucha
yeah.
Underground. She's a proven commodity, and
Yeah.
you know, if Impact bring Brian Cage back, it just makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, and she's when she's backstage interviewer for Impact, she did a great job of that. And actually, he could have transitioned her to in ring, but I don't know what happened with that. But yeah, because anyway, getting back to the main event, like I said, I'm not usually a massive fan of multi-man matches. Like 4, 5 at a push, I'm cool with, because everyone can just get a stick in and like in and out type thing. In the tag team klaxon keeps going off, where everyone just gets in and do their moves, send the next one out. So yeah, no, I like all that stuff. The match, great. I'm cool seeing. I'm glad OGK are now there to help boost that tag team division. So I'm happy with that. Kenny King back, perfect fit for the X Division again. PCO maybe a world title run if it came to it, but I don't.
Oh, I'd love that.
I don't necessarily think that's going to happen in Impact.
I think PCO would be a great X Division champion.
Yeah.
I think he's perfect for that division. No weight limits, no limits, no age limit. He would got to be the oldest X Division champion if he wins it. I think that would be tremendous.
Yeah.
Book it, Scott, you coward.
Obviously you can do that Maria and Deonna feud now, which again I'll be all for. Eddie didn't necessarily need a turn to make it feel fresh, because he's still doing well as this Impact heart and soul, the white meat babyface, just coming and being a hero. But this turn coming when it did, it's not a bad decision, because he wasn't getting stale, but it was slightly on a decline. But now he's had this; it's like a massive boost to his character again. I'm all for it. Still pissed off he did it, because but that's how it's supposed to feel. I saw all this online reaction on like Facebook pages, and Facebook is just such a trash fire. It's insane. Like the people saying that everyone was trying to. No one was seeing it from a fan's perspective. They're all trying to see it from like a booking, a business perspective. Like we're fans. We're supposed to be fans. Enjoy it for what it is. Like that was an incredible moment, and one that you should be pissed off at Eddie Edwards. But I saw his post asking people why they were so annoyed with Eddie Edwards. Like it was a great heel turn. Like it was a great heel turn, but we're supposed to be pissed off at it because he turned his back on Impact. Like you can understand the logic behind it. He is former Ring of Honor World Champion. He was Ring of Honor first. But I want to say he's got to be at least a triple crown in Ring of Honor, right?
Yes, he held the world title, the TV title, and the tag titles. Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes sense, yes. But as a fan, just fucking be annoyed at him. That's what he wants. That's what he wants. He wants you to be annoyed. So, but all in all, a solid show. And in case you haven't seen the announcement yet, Impact Wrestling released the first match for Sacrifice, which is definitely come out of nowhere. But we have at Sacrifice March 5th, I believe.
March 3rd, I think.
March 3rd.
Let's have a look.
It's Jay White versus the returning Alex Shelley. I don't know why this match is happening, but I'm so glad it is happening. Impact have no complaints from me on this match, because just wow. I mean, maybe it is a case of Alex Shelley comes in to help Impact, but doesn't really interact with the Bullet Club. So, but I'm cool with it. If we get a Motor City Machine Guns reunion, all for it. Motor City Machine Guns versus God. I want to see that match. Motor City Machine Guns versus OGK. Definitely want to see that match.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
So I'm all for this announcement. I'm so glad Alex Shelley's back, because I know he said he wasn't sure if he would be coming back, but cool. Got a great match. Impact's gonna be great this week. Usually do a preview, but spoiler alert, we're filming this on a Tuesday, so we haven't seen the Impact card for this week yet. But it's gonna be a banging episode. Just find out what happened with Jay White and all that. But now we're gonna it's the final 10. We're gonna move away from Impact a little bit, because it was a pretty big weekend for the British wrestling scene. I attended a show, and Nixon was on a show, featured on a show. I attended Kamikaze Pro UK's Roulette Rumble. Over the Top 8. It's just their basically their Royal Rumble, and it was just an amazing card from top to bottom, with a few changes in there because of Storm Eunice at the time and a few injuries. But I mean, it had like in the opening, it was Chris Ridgway versus Man Like DeReiss, which was just a banging match, and DeReiss truly is on fire at the minute. Man Like DeReiss is on.
Wait, DeReiss was there?
Yeah, he was on the first match.
He was on our show.
I know, I saw
What
that.
on earth?
Yeah. Faced Chris Ridgway in the opening match.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, because he did an angle on our show. It was sort of towards the end. I wondered why he was so late.
Yeah, he came from Birmingham. That must have been a long ass trip for him. He came from Birmingham to Cambridge, so.
Driving in Birmingham.
Yeah, it's a bit. I've been a passenger, and I frustrates me. Also, it's a fucking great card. You mentioned how you respect heels and how you like booing them, but you respect what they do off screen. That for me applies to this team called the Bled. It's Clint Margera and Luke Donald, also the Edit Jordan Experience, and they're just great heels. Their theme hit, and just their theme. You can't see them yet. The theme hit, and everyone was booing them. They hadn't even walked out, but everyone was booing them. The current reigning tag team champions of Kamikaze had a great match against the Sunshine Machine of Chuck Mambo and TK Cooper. Current Rev Pro tag team champions, banging match. Alexis Falcon faced Chantal Jordan for the Relentless Championship, and had a fun interaction with Alexis. She came out first because she was the challenger. And because this is Chantal's home turf, again, she was getting booed out of the building. A few people cheering her, but majority were booing her. And I booed her. Her music cut, just in the corner waiting for the Chantal to come out. And I just as music cut, I went boo, and she was stood in the corner, dead opposite me. It was only me. And she turned around and said, she said, what did you say? I said boo. And then she went, you boo Chantal before she comes out. It's not very nice. So it was just a great heel interaction. Like a couple months ago at Catch, where she faced Chantal Jordan in their first match, she had an injury, which then led to her fiance JJ Webb hitting Chantal in the back, leading to Alexis winning the match. So I said to Alexis, I went, "How's the leg, by the way? How's the leg?" And she went, "It still hurts, actually." But I just love a good heel interaction, because that's the first time I've ever properly done that with a heel. Like, I'll boo them and flip them off and stuff, but that was the first time I had a proper heel interaction. It was just fucking great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I also had the fortunate actually met the Sunshine Machine, TK Cooper and Chuck Mambo. I had an in-ring photo with them, which was very cool. I got to have the Kamikaze tag team title. And also Luke Jacobs of the Young Guns had a great match with Sean Custom for the Kamikaze title. And the Young Guns are such a good tag team at the minute, but individually they have great wrestlers, and Northwest Strong as a faction is insanely good. They have some incredible wrestlers in that faction. So, and the main event was the Kamikaze Rumble, and a few surprises. Harrison Bennett, the former Man Like Bino, made his return to Kamikaze. Rio showed up, so another member of Northwest Strong popped up. Two members of Northwest Strong popped up in the Rumble. So all in all, on that, Northwest Strong had 4 members on that entire show, which all 4. Luke Donald from the Bled started at number 1, and it was in the final 2. It was a decent Rumble. I won't say who won it because they're on demand. Kamikaze's on demand is coming out next couple of weeks, so it'll be on their Vimeo. So definitely go check that out because it was a solid show. But yeah, so of course you featured on a show this week. So yeah, what happened there then?
Really fun time at Pro Wrestling East in Cambridge this Saturday. I'm going to peel the curtain back a little bit, but not too much. So I wrestled Jordan Saeed, and we were meant to be on first, but Jordan Saeed didn't arrive until just before the interval. So we went on first after the interval, and that's fine with me. I can work on the fly. I don't need to prepare too much.
Right.
But I think it's the first time Jordan has been so unprepared for a match, let's say. But we had in my opinion, we had a banger. Really enjoyed the match. We got a lot of compliments from fans and people backstage, so I was really pleased with it. Just from talking to people that watched the show, people seem to really enjoy it. Some great people on the card, Charlie Morgan, Lana Rostin. I was sitting backstage and Rhea O'Reilly walked past me. I said, "Oh shit, Rhea! I didn't expect to see you today." She was a last-minute addition to the card, so it was good to have a catch-up with her. She was on the opener. The match that we were supposed to have. Yeah. She went on first with Bo Bells, I think was her name. First ever match. And because they were meant to be on third and got moved to first, you can imagine the nerves on a person who is about to have their first ever match. But from what I understand, she absolutely killed it. So yeah, fantastic stuff. And she was buzzing backstage after the match. So yeah, awesome stuff. Who else was on the show? Hustle Malone against Roy Johnson.
Hustle Malone was also a Kamikaze.
Yeah, he was very late to the show as well, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the main event was Gene Money, who most British fans will be aware of. He's fantastic, very entertaining person to watch. What I like about Gene Money is he's kind of a comedy wrestler, but it's not forced humor, like choreographed gags like Colt Cabana or someone like, I can't think of any example really. When Eric Young used to be a comedy wrestler, or Santino Marella, perfect example. Yeah. If you're not into their stuff, it's a bit hokey. But Gene Money, all of his stuff is crowd interaction, and he's very organic, and that makes him, he's so quick-witted. He's very funny to watch. But Gene Money and Will Cruz, who's another guy you need to look out for. Really underrated. Reminds me of kind of like Samoa Joe, I guess. He's a big boy, but he can move. He can do it all. He's fantastic. These two had a really, really good main event. Strong style. They're both doing dives and stuff. At one point, Will Cruz picked Gene Money up for like a doctor bomb, had him in the gut wrench, picked him up, and then buckle bombed him. And everyone on the balcony was like, "Oh,
yeah."
Oh, it looked fantastic. these two had a blinder. Perfect main event for the show, and I went straight backstage after the show and said, guys, that was fucking excellent. Really, it made me feel proud to be part of the show and Pro Wrestling East, because if that's the quality of the main event we're getting from PWE, it's really awesome to be a part of that team. Not much else to say about the show, really. If I can just grab a couple of props here. Well, it's weird the things you, as a wrestler, you find yourself doing on the fly. So there was a point in the match where I had Jordan in the corner, and one of the crowd members shouted, "Fuck him up, Nixon." And I don't know where it came from, but straight out of my mouth, I turned into Danhausen, and I said, "No swearing." And it got such a good reaction. But the guy was like, "Sorry." So if I can just use Batman and Kofi Kingston to show this. So if I'm Batman, Jordan Said is Kofi Kingston. We did a superplex. So I superplexed Jordan, and we landed, and I did the Chris Benoit bump. I landed and I bounced onto my front. Never done that before. Don't know why it happened. It was a crazy bump, and I can't wait to see it back because it felt so weird.
Wow.
So yeah, that was my Pro Wrestling East experience.
It was sold out, right?
It was sold out, no tickets left. And it's the second time. It's the second ever show. Second time they've sold out. So look forward to more great things from Pro Wrestling East. Their next show is in May. I think it's the end of May. I'm booked for DOA on that show. So you might not see me. But follow their stuff and follow DOA as well. Another great promotion that I'm proud to be a part of. British wrestling on the rise and producing top quality stuff every weekend.
Yeah, it truly is on fire right now. I believe we have a progress. There's going to be a title for title match between Jonathan Gresham and Cara Noir.
Oh,
Ring of Honor World and Progress, which is just going to be fucking insane. And
well, I mean, there's only one winner there, but I wrestled Cara Noir, but when he was doing his previous gimmick, Black Belt Tom Dawkins, that guy is phenomenal. Aside from the amazing character work he's doing, as a worker, as a wrestler, he's just tremendous. Can't say enough good things about, and what a great guy as well.
Yeah,
and to see those two wrestle, Cara Noir and Jonathan Gresham, that will be outstanding.
And the last Progress show, again, it looks like another title for title, but Ilya Dragunov came out and challenged Cara Noir. So we could get NXT UK Championship versus Progress Championship and potentially the Ring of Honor World Championship, which is just wrestling is just insane.
Forbidden doors opening in the UK as well.
Yeah, and also I'll reference as well. Check out Progress's show because Jonathan Gresham had a great match with Dean Allmark, and Swerve Shane Strickland had a banging match with Cara Noir for the Progress title.
Oh, nice.
So just go watch wrestling because especially British wrestling at the minute is on fire. And I mean, unfortunately, Kamikaze wasn't a sellout, but it felt like it was, which is always, it's just what an amazing night. And coming in the next show at Kamikaze is Warhorse are going to be there.
Oh, nice.
And it's going to be Chuck Mambo versus Clint Margera in a beach ball death match.
I got to see that.
Yeah. So just watch wrestling. Check out Pro Wrestling East. Check out Kamikaze. Check out pro wrestling in general, because they have some of the best fucking wrestlers in the world right now. I'll put majority Kamikaze, all the Kamikaze roster up against anyone from Impact, from AEW, from WWE, for fuck's sake. I want to see Chantal Jordan versus Trey Miguel, because they can have a banging match. Chantal Jordan, she just needs to get in front of someone in a major company, and she'll be signed there and there, because she is that good. I will put Chantal Jordan over as much as I possibly can, because she's 18. I first saw her when she was 17, and she had a Falls Count Anywhere match with Joe Janela. And that match was picked up by the Sun. The Sun reported it, because they went on a bus that was in Coventry.
Yeah, I heard about that match. I didn't realize she was so young.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me feel a bit uncomfortable that she wrestled Joey Janela with such a high-profile match when she was 17. But I keep seeing her name pop up more and more, so I'm expecting big things for her in her career.
I mean, before we head off, in the Rumble, the Kamikaze Kid came out. When I first saw him, he was 12, and that was about 3 years ago. And he was in the Rumble against some big ass dudes. So
when I used to wrestle for WAW, they did a show called Kid Mania. They still do them. So WAW have a YC, the youth club, and they're training wrestlers, and I get what they're trying to do. It's good physical activity for the children. They're not taking big bumps, all the time. They're being shown sequences like technical wrestling, and there's good cardio for them, good fitness. Also, it's something for them to do. Keeps them off the streets, I guess. I used to commentate for Kid Mania. It was so much fun. But seeing kids start so young and then just carry on wrestling into their 20s, you see their bodies start to break down early, because kids' bodies shouldn't be subjected to those sort of big bumps. And certainly if they're going on the road every week, like some young wrestlers have done in the past, people that have gone on to be big names, but their bodies are broken down by the time they're approaching 30. So it does make me feel a bit uncomfortable. At the same time, if it's done in a safe environment and it's done in a clever fashion, it is a lot of fun. And that's what wrestling is at the end of the day. It's fun.
Yeah, I think it's just, wrestling is just cool, and as long as everyone's in agreement with the age of the wrestling, just have fun with it. As long as you're enjoying what you're doing, then I guess just enjoy wrestling, because there's nothing like wrestling out there. It's just the stuff it can. I mean, I've made friends out of wrestling. I've made, I go to Kamikaze, and I'm still there with people I don't know. People I don't know, just talking about what we're seeing and how excited we are about wrestling. There's just nothing fucking like it. So it's with that, you can follow us here, there, and everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Sounder, Spotify, and we are now available on Apple Podcasts. So leave us a review if you feel like it. You can follow us at TNIW channel. Follow me at Mr. Impact Craig. Follow Nixon at Peter Nixon ESQ.
And give my opponent from this past weekend, Jordan Saeed, a follow on Twitter and that, because he needs more eyes on him. That kid is really, really good. And, given the right exposure, there's no telling how far Jordan Saeed can go in the wrestling business. So, yeah, check him out, because he's excellent.
Yep, you heard that. Just enjoy wrestling. Drop us a subscribe if you feel like it. Drop us a like on the video if you feel like it. Leave us a comment as well, because we don't really get a lot of comments on here, and we'd like to start reading some out. So if you want to drop us a comment, let you know what you thought of Impact or British wrestling scene, or just what you thought of the show in general. Just let us know, and I'm sure we can start making that into our final 10. But until next time, I've been the MIC. Here's Nixon, and will continue to be Nixon. Until next time, goodbye, my friends.